Victor is a man who has never once in his 30 years on this earth seriously entertained the possibility that he might be wrong about something. Not about football results, not about directions when he is driving, not about the correct way to cook rice, not about anything. So when Victor became convinced that his wife Amara had been unfaithful to him, he did what any completely reasonable and totally not dramatic man would do. He called his mama. He informed her of the situation. He dressed her in her good clothes. He put her in a car. He drove her across town to a courtroom. What Victor failed to consider is that mothers always know more than they say. And sometimes they decide today is the day they say all of it. This is AI Paternity Court. Welcome to AI Paternity Court, where artificial intelligence meets real human drama. All content is fictional, created by AI for entertainment. Viewer discretion advised. This episode contains dramatic content, shocking DNA revelations, one man who threatened his own cousin-in-law with pepper, and a mother who came to support her son and ended up supporting his wife instead. You have been warned.
Good morning. Victor, you have brought your wife Amara before this court today, claiming you have serious doubts about whether you are the biological father of her 9-year-old son, Emmanuel. You have also brought your mother, Grace, as a witness. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. And I want to say right now, I am not nervous. Not at all. I am completely calm because I already know what those DNA results are going to say. People keep telling me I am overreacting. Victor, you are being paranoid. Victor, calm down. Well, today everyone is going to see that Victor was right. Victor has always been right. Then today, finally, Victor will be proven right in front of everyone.
Sir, this is a court of law, not a motivational seminar. Kindly sit up straight and face forward. Your Honor, I'll keep this simple. I have been completely faithful to Victor since the day we met 4 years ago. Emmanuel is his son. I have never been with another man. I have never even looked at another man in that way. I am sitting in this courtroom today not because I have anything to prove, but because Victor has spent the last 7 months telling absolutely everyone we know that I have been cheating on him. Our parents, our siblings, our friends from church, our neighbors on both sides, the woman who sells tomatoes at the junction, and the man who sells groundnuts outside our compound gate. I cannot walk out of my own house without someone looking at me like I have done something terrible. He told the groundnut seller? Yes, Your Honor. That man knew me when I was 6 years old. 6. He used to give me extra groundnuts when I was small because he said I reminded him of his daughter. Now, every single morning when I walk past his stall on my way to work, he looks at me exactly like this. Victor, you told the groundnut seller that your wife was unfaithful?
Your Honor, it was not. I was simply having a conversation one morning. A man asked me how I was doing as a courtesy, and one thing led to another, and before I knew it,
Before you knew it, you had informed a groundnut seller about your marital situation.
when you say it like that, it sounds like something it is not.
It sounds exactly like what it is, sir. Moving on. Victor, beyond keeping the local groundnut industry fully informed of your personal affairs, what specific evidence do you have that caused you to doubt your wife?
Your Honor, I have 3 solid pieces of evidence, and I want to present them clearly and calmly. Number 1, for approximately 3 months before the pregnancy was announced, Amara was coming home very late every single night. She told me it was work, extra projects, overtime. But Your Honor, I called her office on 2 separate occasions during this period, and both times they told me she had already left for the day, hours earlier. So where was she going? Number 2, when Amara announced she was pregnant, the dates kept changing. First, she told me she was 8 weeks along. The following week, she said actually it was 6 weeks. The week after that, the number changed again. Your Honor, those dates were moving around like the price of fuel during a scarcity. Up and down, back and forth. It made absolutely no sense to me. And number 3, this is the most critical piece of evidence, Your Honor. I discovered a man's name saved in my wife's phone. A man I had never heard of before in my life. A man named Jerome. I did not recognize that name. So naturally, I called the number. And Your Honor, the very moment this Jerome heard my voice on the line, what kind of man with absolutely nothing tied hangs a telephone the moment a husband calls?
Amara, let us start with Jerome. Who exactly is Jerome? Jerome is my cousin, Your Honor. My mother's brother's son. We grew up in the same compound together from childhood. He is like a brother to me. He is genuinely like a brother to me. He hung up the phone because a last time Victor called him, which was not the first time Victor called him, Your Honor. Victor told Jerome that he was going to come to his house and personally show him Pepe. I beg your pardon? Show him Pepper?
Your Honor, that is simply a figure of speech. It is a very common expression that merely means,
I am 61 years old, sir. I know exactly what it means. Please continue, Amara. Thank you, Your Honor. Regarding the late nights, I was preparing a major business proposal for a new client. I presented it to my entire department, including my manager and 3 senior colleagues. I have the original presentation, the full email thread confirming the project timeline, and a signed letter from my manager confirming that I worked late on each of the specified dates. All of it is in this folder right here. Regarding the pregnancy dates, my doctor was updating the gestational estimate at each visit based on the ultrasound measurements. This is completely standard medical practice. My doctor's notes and appointment records are also in this folder. And regarding Jerome, Your Honor, Victor danced with Jerome at our wedding reception for 20 consecutive minutes. They performed the Azanto together on the dance floor in front of 140 guests. Victor also personally walked up to Jerome at the end of the reception, shook his hand, in front of myself and 2 other witnesses, that they were going to be best friends. Oh, Victor, so you danced the Azanto with this man at your own wedding?
Your Honor, the reception was a very lively occasion, and there were many guests, and I was in a very celebratory mood, and I did not, at that point in the evening, fully know whom.
You asked for his phone number?
I was simply being hospitable to the guests.
You told him you were going to be best friends.
I say that to many people when I am in a good mood. I do not always mean it in a completely literal sense.
And then you threatened to show him Pepper.
Your Honor, with the greatest respect, I would very much appreciate if we could move forward from the Jerome chapter of this proceedings and focus on the readout.
We will get there eventually. But first, you mentioned that you brought your mother here today as your witness. Grace, your son has brought you all the way to this courtroom to support his case against his wife. Please tell this court in your own words what you personally observed that led you to support his concerns. Your Honor, before I say anything at all, I want this court and everyone in it to understand one thing very clearly. I love my son, Victor. There is nothing in this world I would not do for him, and there is no place I would not go for him. He called me and asked me to come here, and I came without question.
Thank you, Mama. You see, Your Honor, even my own mother, who has known me my entire life and who knows me better than anyone, can stand here and confirm that Denham.
I love him very much. He is my son, and I will always love him. I say this with every drop of Master's love that is in my heart. He is also one of the most stubborn and the most spectacularly foolish young men I have ever encountered in my 58 years on this earth. And I have encountered a great many. Grace, I have a genuine feeling that this is going to be one of the finest testimonies I have received in 19 years on this bench. Please, do continue.
Ma, what are you doing right now? You specifically said you were coming here to support me.
Victor, I am your mother, not your accomplice. Now sit down quietly and allow me to speak to this judge. Thank you, Your Honor. Approximately 8 months ago, Victor came to my house. He arrived unannounced at around 7 in the evening, looking like a man whose entire world had ended. He was pacing around my kitchen like a chicken that has completely lost its head. He sat down at my kitchen table and he told me that he was absolutely and completely convinced that Amara had been seeing another man behind his back. He was crying, Your Honor, real tears, dripping directly onto my good table. Hey, have you, man, noticed anything? Have you ever seen anything suspicious about Amara? Anything at all? He sat down. Grace, you have full and complete control of this courtroom. Take all the time you need. And I, God forgive me for what I am about to say. I told him yes. Wow, what exactly did you tell him you had seen? I told him that a few weeks before that conversation, I had seen Amara outside a restaurant in town with a man, just standing and talking on the pavement outside. And Your Honor, the very moment those words left my mouth, Victor leapt up from that chair like he had been struck by lightning. He started saying, You see, Mama, you see, I knew something was wrong.
Your Honor,
I had not even finished my full sentence before he had already taken that small piece of information and run with it further and faster than I ever in my wildest imagination thought possible. Grace, the man you saw Amara standing and talking with outside that restaurant, who was he? Jerome, her cousin. The same Jerome who Victor danced with at their own wedding and then requested as a future best friend. I have met Jerome personally on 4 completely separate occasions over the years. I recognized him immediately the moment I saw them together outside that restaurant. I watched them from across the road, and it was clearly just 2 family members having a completely ordinary conversation on a completely ordinary afternoon. Jerome was carrying grocery shopping bags in both hands. Amara was pointing at something she had seen in a shop window next to them. It was about as suspicious as 2 people standing on a pavement can possibly be, which is to say, not suspicious at all. I knew it. I knew it was ordinary. I knew Jerome was her cousin. And I told Victor anyway. Because my son was sitting at my kitchen table with tears falling on my good 12-year-old table, and I could not bear to watch it. I told him what I thought he needed to hear in that moment, so that he would feel less alone with his pain. I thought I was helping him. I did not think, Victor, your own mother just told this court under oath that the single piece of outside evidence that formed the entire foundation of your suspicion against your wife was something she said purely to comfort you in a difficult moment. Not because she actually witnessed anything suspicious, not because she believed Amara had done anything wrong, but because you were crying at her kitchen table and she could not bear to see it. Do you have anything to say in response to that?
Mom, I do not understand why you will.
Your Honor, may I add something? You may, Amara. Jerome has not been able to collect his post in 3 weeks. 3 full weeks, Your Honor. His letters and bills are piling up in a stack outside his front door. His neighbor, a Mrs. Adiemi, who is 72 years old and who has lived next door to Jerome for 11 years, telephoned me personally last Tuesday morning to ask whether Jerome was still alive and well, because she had not seen him leave his house in so long.
Mom, I have already tried to call Jerome on several occasions, and he simply does not.
You will keep calling until he answers. You will call every hour if that is what it takes. And if he still does not answer by this evening, then tomorrow morning, you will go directly to his house and you will stand on his doorstep and you will wait until he opens that door. And once he opens that door, you will help him personally collect and sort through all the post that has been piling up outside for 3 weeks because of you, every single envelope. I want to take a brief moment to acknowledge openly how it is unfolding in this courtroom right now. Victor brought his mother here today. He brought her specifically to be his star witness. His star witness has spent the last 15 minutes telling the complete truth on him, calling him spectacularly foolish, apologizing sincerely to his wife on his behalf, and issuing him a comprehensive and detailed personal action plan regarding Jerome's 3 weeks of uncollected post. Victor, I am going to give you one final opportunity to say something, anything, before I open this envelope. Would you like to take it?
Your Honor, I still believe that the DNA results will support my position.
Of course you do. Let us find out. I have the results of the DNA test right here in this envelope. In the matter of paternity of 9-month-old Emmanuel, Victor, you are the biological father of your son.
Probability of paternity, 99.97%.
Emmanuel is your child. He has always been your child. Amara has been completely faithful to you throughout the entirety of your relationship.
What? No way! Order! What? Is serious?
I must say, Amara, your composure throughout every single moment of this entire proceeding been genuinely remarkable. Your Honor, I have been composing myself for 9 consecutive months. I have had an extraordinary amount of practice at this point.
Amara, I do not even have adequate words right now. I am sorry. I am so deeply and genuinely sorry for absolutely everything. For every single person I told, for your mother, for my Auntie Felicia, for every pastor on our street, for the tomato seller.
For the groundnut seller, Victor, say the words.
For the groundnut seller. Yes, for the groundnut seller, I am sorry for every single bit of it, for every condensation and every person I dragged into something that was never real. I will fix it. Every single part of it. I promise you, I will go to every person and I'll explain and I'll fix everything. Just please give me the chance to make this right.
Victor, you told Auntie Felicia.
I know.
You know what Auntie Felicia did when you told her? She sent me a voice note. Do you know how long that voice note was, Victor? 11 minutes and 43 seconds. Timed it. I sat there with my phone in my hand and I timed every single second of it. 11 minutes and 43 seconds of Auntie Felicia explaining to me in full detail the importance of faithfulness and loyalty in a Christian marriage. With Bible verses, many Bible verses, Victor. She had clearly prepared. She had notes, and at the very end of the minute 43 seconds, she said a full prayer over me, asking God to convict my heart. A prayer over me, who did nothing.
I will call Auntie Felicia today, right after Jerome Rahr. I will explain everything to her from the beginning and I will ask her to send you a new message, a proper apology one.
Victor, I am telling you now, if Auntie Felicia sends me any even approaching 11 minutes in length, I am changing my telephone number. I mean it. I'll handle Felicia personally. She will send something short. 2 minutes at the absolute maximum. 1 apology, 1 blessing at the end. No Bible verses, no prayer section. I will sit next to her while she records it to make sure.
Amara, I am prepared to do genuinely whatever it takes. Whatever you need from me. I will do it without question. Just tell me.
Whatever I need.
Yes, ask you anything.
You are sleeping on the couch. Effective immediately. I have not yet decided how long for. I will assess the situation weekly and inform you of any updates and then I have them. That is entirely fair. That is completely and entirely fair. You will also personally visit the groundnut seller. Not a phone call, not a text message, an in-person visit. You will go there yourself and you will stand in front of that man and you will look him in the eye. And you will explain everything to him directly and clearly. And then you will buy groundnuts from every single day so the next full month. Every day, Victor, rain or shine, whether you want groundnuts or not.
I will do it. Every single day, I will buy whatever he has available. And Jerome, yes.
Victor, Jerome is going to require considerably more than a telephone call. That man cannot currently collect his own post from outside his own front door. His neighbor genuinely believed he might be dead. You are going to go to Jerome's house in person. You are going to bring him a gift, a proper and substantial gift, not something small and token, something that communicates genuine remorse. And then you are going to apologize to that man properly and completely until he genuinely believes that you mean every word of it.
I will accompany Victor to Jerome's house to ensure that the apology is conducted properly and with the appropriate level of sincerity, and to ensure that the word pepper does not appear anywhere in the conversation in any form.
Mama Sunday, can I come to the house on Sunday? You mentioned earlier that you were thinking about making...
The jollof rice on Sunday is being made specifically and exclusively for Amara. It is my personal apology to her from me. You may attend under one condition and one condition only. Jerome must have accepted your apology and communicated that acceptance to me directly by Saturday evening at the latest. If Jerome has not confirmed his acceptance of your apology by Saturday evening, then you will not be joining us at the table. You will receive a small plate of the rice from the bottom of the pot. The dry part. The part that has been sitting on the heat too long. You will eat it alone in the kitchen and you will be grateful that you received anything at all.
Grace, I will come on Sunday. Thank you.
And bring Emmanuel with you when you come. I want to hold my grandson properly. In a house. Not in a courtroom. Not like this. And as for you, Victor, if Jerome confirms by Saturday, you may sit at the table. You will sit at the far end. You will eat your rice. You will say thank you.
Before I formally close this case, I want to speak directly to every person in this room. I have sat on this bench for 19 years. I have presided over hundreds and hundreds of cases in this courtroom. Before I have heard arguments and accusations and denials of every conceivable shape and size. I have seen people do remarkable things to each other in the name of love, in the name of fear, and in the name of jealousy. But I want to say something to you today that I hope you carry with you long after you walk out of this building. You came in here this morning absolutely certain beyond any shadow of any doubt that you were right. You were not right. You were not even in the same general vicinity as right. You took a faithful woman, a woman who was working late at night to build a better future for your family, who documented every doctor's appointment, who kept every receipt and every email and every piece of relevant evidence because somewhere deep down she knew a day like this might come. And you dragged her name and her reputation through your entire community. You told everyone who knew you both. And through every single bit of all of that, Amara sat quietly in her truth and she waited patiently for this moment to arrive. And it arrived today. And it said precisely and exactly what she told you it would say from the very first day you accused her. Now I want to say something to you, Grace. What you did in this courtroom today took something that far too few people in this world are willing to demonstrate. You chose honesty over comfort. You chose truth over loyalty. You could have sat in that chair beside your son and nodded and agreed, and nobody in this room would have questioned you for a single second. Instead, you looked at this young woman sitting across from you.
This woman your son had been publicly accusing and humiliating for 7 months, and you chose to tell the truth even though it cost you something real and significant. That was the right thing to do. It was a hard thing to do.
And you did it anyway. And finally, Amara, you conducted yourself today with more grace and more dignity than from situating to end. Not once did you raise your voice. Not once did you lose your composure. You walked into this courtroom with your evidence organized in a folder, and you answered every question that was put to you directly and honestly. And you waited for the truth to do its job. Whatever you choose to do from this day forward is entirely and completely your right and your decision to make in your own time and in your own way. But from where I am sitting this morning, you have earned absolutely every single thing you asked for in this room today, including the jollof.
Victor called Jerome 5 times before he answered. He apologized for 8.5 minutes straight. Jerome said 3 words, "I will consider it," and hung up.
Jerome laughed for the first time in 3 weeks, and Emmanuel, 9 months old, completely unbothered, looking exactly like his father, just like the DNA said all along.
This has been AI Paternity Court, where the truth has no favorites. Subscribe right now because next week we have a case involving a secret that has been buried and hidden for 25 years. And a family reunion that absolutely nobody in that courtroom, not even Judge Harris, was fully prepared for.
We will see you in court.
Hit that subscribe button and come back next week for another explosive case.